Hi, I'm Harley Vlogger Gamer. This is my first video, so I'm a little bit nervous. But never mind. So basically, I was thinking about doing a ranting video, as my first video. I will be doing some game kind of stuff, and I'll do some vlogging, 'cause I kind of thought there wasn't a lot of folk who, um, are, well, I'm disabled, you see. So like I just want to tell everyone about what I do, really, because there's a lot of things about little kids, oh, she was born with this, but they don't tell you what happens after they grow up and get, they're not as cute as they were. Um, so I just want to tell everyone about that. But anyway, my rant. I'm just have a little bit of a rant. I live in Aberdeen. Um, So we have some things that aren't the best. Anyway, yeah, I would say that. I say that jokingly. We do have some good stuff, I must admit, but the one thing that I honestly hate is pigeons. We have a shit ton of pigeons, like ridiculous amounts of pigeons. Like you go into the center of town, you go into town center, and oh my god, you cannot move because of the amount of pigeons. And then talking of birds, you've got seagulls, and the seagulls they're not small, they're not cute in commas, uh, in brackets. Cute is something I wouldn't call a seagull unless it was a baby one. Baby ones are quite cute, but we have massive seagulls. You think London's bad? Well, then again, London might not have seagulls, but oh my god, our seagulls, you could hit one of them, like kick it out the way, it would come back at you, attack you, and punch you. It's like this. Oh my god, you could, like, these seagulls, they have like fists. They're so big, and they're so crazy. But yes, so that's our seagulls, and you know, they come up, they steal your chips. If you're at the seaside, they'll steal your ice cream. They'll take away your dog. To be honest, they're so big, fly off with your dog. Um, but like they're not too bad. Like I just got to watch. I've got a rabbit, and they'll kind of come in, nick his food out of his shed. He has a shed. He's a very well cared for rabbit. And so anyway, they'll come into his shed and eat his food, and then run away again and just fly away. And you're like, excuse me, I didn't buy that for you. What are you talking about? But anyway, and the other thing about Aberdeen that I honestly hate, is the buses. Now, I know I probably shouldn't moan about the buses, generally because I don't need to really take a bus to get to school. But it's for like getting into town, and it's like, and also for getting to school, it's a 20-minute walk up a hill, and Aberdeen weather, it's like one minute it could be really nice and summery weather, and you're like, it's just nice, yeah, there's nice warm heat on my skin, and then you could blink, and you've got snowstorms, and you're like, where does that come from? Really, where does it come from? You're like, what is wrong with this world? But yeah, yeah, so that's Aberdeen weather. But buses. Anyway, so basically, I take a bus to school every day, usually. Um, and I tend to kind of walk home because walking down a hill is usually easier than walking up it. I have thought about taking my bike to school because going down that hill looks like a lot of fun on a bus, on a bike even. But it's like getting up the hill as well. I'm just lazy. Like, I'm Scottish, I'm lazy. But yeah. So these buses, they're never on time, ever on time. Like, if there's a bus that's actually on time and on schedule, I would give you money to show me that bus. Like, honestly. So, like, they're either, you'll be late, and then they'll be late. And you'll be early, or right on time, and they'll be either extremely late, or extremely early. And you're like, could you not just come at the proper time? And then I will come at the proper time. Or they'll do that thing where, the bus drivers they'll stop at a terminus or a random bus stop, and they could be 5-10 minutes late and still sit there for another 10 minutes. And it's like, you just made yourself even more late. What's that all about? Really? It's like, oh, but I need my break. And I was like, well, if you wanted your break, you could have been on time. And actually, granted, if it makes you a little bit late, it's not too bad. I can kind of thingy that. If you're making me late for school because you were late yourselves and think you get a break, I'm just like, oh, hell no, hell no. So that annoys me a lot. The other thing is the price of buses in Aberdeen. Oh my god, right? So you can get like an all-day pass, which is $4.20, I think, for an adult. $4.20, and it's like, it's like a fiver, like before 9, and you think, I'm like paying my wage for a whole hour. It's ridiculous. And then I've got my month pass, and and I can use it on any bus in Aberdeen, and it gets me on every bus anytime I want, as much times as I want, Monday to Friday for 4 weeks. But that's costing me £50, and it's a way to go up to like 64. Random number is £64, really. Yeah, so that's going up in price, and I'm like, there's no need for that. There's plenty of people who would pay, like 40 quid easily for a 4 week pass. That's a tenner a week. And it's like, granted, oh, you're saving money. Yeah, granted. But I want to save money and not give it all to you. Really? And then the bus drivers moan about, oh, we're not getting enough money. It's like, what do you do? Really? What do you do that you deserve all this money? It's like, in my job, I run around doing everything for anyone who asks. Going down to, the store, which is like 3 levels down, and then coming back up and then just say, oh, I don't fancy it anymore, and have to go back and put it back, and then having people on tills having a change and like 1 pences for a £20 item. It's horrible. And then you have to sit out count and make sure it's all there. Oh my god. Stressful. And the cheek, like, I know people are going to be like, "Ew, but you have to respect your elders." And it's like, well, honestly, bus drivers are the most disrespectful people I've ever met. Like, and I've met, you've not been to Omaker. So, yeah. Haven't seen, if you've been there, you've seen a lot of disrespectful people, but the bus drivers, they think that they are gods. They think they are the mighty Zeus and Poseidon and God and all this kind of thing, because they pretty much ferry you about when they want to. And they're always like, oh, respect your elders, young lady, and don't you talk to me like that. And like, I have actually stood up to a bus driver once because he went past one of my teachers who was standing perfectly at a bus stop, had his hand out, was out on the curb, and he went right past him. And I was like, well, fuck this shit. And then walked up to the bus driver's bit, and I was like, do you realise that you just missed someone there? And he was like, oh, I didn't see him. And I was like, well, I'm fucking scared because you must be blind. And he was just like, oh, how dare you be talking to me like that, young madam. And I was like, don't call me young madam. I said, who calls people young madam now? It's like, where are you from? Like the 15th century or something? Young madam. And and I was just like, oh well, do you not think they should maybe stop and let him kind of catch up with the bus? He was only like not even 5 minutes up the road. It was like 5 meters away from him. He was like, oh no, I can't stop here. And I was like, oh yes, but you'll stop in the middle of fucking nowhere, sit for 10 minutes, and make me late for everything, will you? And he's like, oh well, that's another bus driver. And I was like, oh, fuck you. And then and I was like, oh well, if I miss a customer at my work, then I'm pretty much going to be docked pay or get into trouble, but you'll get nothing. They get nothing wrong. They could do anything wrong. I'm pretty sure I've seen bus drivers go through red lights and almost run me down when I'm crossing. Um, and they won't get charged for anything. They won't get a warning. They won't get paid dock. They're paid. They won't get docked pay even, and it just really annoys me. It just gets on my nerves. But anyway, thanks for listening. If you are a bus driver, please let me know if you do get, paid, docked pay and stuff and warnings and all that. Leave a comment. I'm happy to see what people think of the video. Like, favorite, do all that jazz. And I've been Harley, Vulgar Gamer. Thanks for watching. Bye!